Welcome to the third episode of the Honor Society, covering all things Ring of Honor. As always, I'm Stephen Acefield, the ace of the Turnbuckle Tavern, and I am joined, as per usual, by two of the best in the biz.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Sneed, and I am a founder here at the Tavern. And man, look here, we're starting off with comments. We're starting off. Look here, I'm ready for Dishonor Society minus FREEMZ, who's honorable. I mean, that's nice for FREEMZ and everything, and I agree, FREEMZ is honorable. But come on, Boney.
The title still remains with Honor Society, but don't let us interrupt the introductions. You're getting us all out of whack, J-Bone.
Yeah. Was that it for you, Sneed?
That's it for me. That's it for me.
I have PTSD from last night's wrap up of being constantly interrupted by the Fig Kid. That's twitch.tv/FREEMZ. That's what I call myself when I'm here because I'm the shillbilly. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. This is
super pumped. I'm glad.
It's a lot to be excited about.
There's so much going on, and I feel like we're at a point right now where we're about to get some big news on what's going on.
Oh, yeah. So before we move into it, let's take care of some housekeeping, guys. As usual, make sure to like and subscribe to the Turnbuckle Tavern. We continue to give out hours of free content, so the least you can do, leave a 5-star review, a like, a subscription. Go to theturnbuckletavern.com, buy some merchandise. We finally have some Honor Society merch to shield for you guys. Purchase even an Ace of the Tavern or a President Sneed shirt. We need a FREEMZ shirt, which is in the making from what I understand.
Yeah.
So buy them all. Collect them all. Do what you can to support the show.
Yeah, I heard that we're going to do a pop-up shop for my shirt release, and people are going to be lining around the block for it. So
I feel like we need a wrinkly brain. Look here. FREEMZ, your brain is looking extra big today.
It really is.
How's it going, man?
Yesterday, my brain was vibrating so hard that it shook all the way to Australia and messed up Nick Storm's internet for a second.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So before we get into the Ring of Honor news, just remember, this is our schedule. Everything popping up on here. So Monday, we have the fucking GCW show. We have Fig Night happen on Tuesday and the Raw down. Those frauds over there. I'm the champion. Wednesday, the AEW wrap up. And then today, obviously, you're here Thursday, the Honor Society. So follow along. These are your live streaming things too. Make sure you're following all things Turnbuckle Tavern. And that's not even including the podcast that are released. So a lot going on here. I want to make sure that we give out all the love for everyone that's working really hard to make the free content you guys are enjoying.
Definitely. We have a great crew here. Everybody puts everything into the shows that they're doing. So you're doing a disservice to yourself if you're not following. Just go to theturnbuckletavern.com. You'll find links to everything. Austin here makes a good point too. It says make sure your reviews are posting. Apple Podcasts haven't been posting them. I've noticed that a few of our reviews have been there and gone. So if you leave a review, make sure that it's there. Yeah.
It's a very good point. Make sure you guys are doing everything you can to support the show. We're working really hard for you guys, but let's get into why everybody's here. Let's talk Ring of Honor, guys. So first thing on the docket is the made man, which is Wheeler Yuta, and everything that happened on Friday night. It feels like it was forever ago. It was only about a week, 6 days in total. But for me, I want to say he's a made man. What Jon Moxley did for him can't be replicated in any other way. I'll let you start with it, FREEMZ. Where do you think they are at Wheeler Yuta? Do they have a star in their hands, and do they have to do more to make them there?
I think they definitely have a star. That match showed it. If you watched the wrap-up show last night, we picked the best match of the week, and I think it went 3 for 3, Wheeler Yuta and Moxley. I was speaking high of him just watching him on, AEW Dark Rampage. I've been high on this guy for a while. He's like my favorite wrestler that I've just recently discovered since getting back into wrestling. So it's cool to see him kind of strapping a rocket to him a little bit by putting him with. That's a big deal. Putting him with the what they call the kiddie pool black slappy club.
Yeah, that's the shirt too for us.
Yeah. So it broke up there. I didn't hear what that last comment was.
Oh, I was just saying that should be our shirt. The kitty combat club. That should be what we're doing over here.
We should do a play on it. That should be us.
Yeah. Basically what I was saying is you can tell they're strapped. Like it's a big deal for put him with that group. with Bryan Danielson, Moxley, and William Regal. Like that shows you that they have faith in this guy to do big things. Not to mention putting the pure title on him as well.
Yeah, that's to say they're strapping a rocket to this kid is an understatement. Because I pulled up here that this is an article that says that Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley is AEW's best trilogy of matches, and this just kind of goes through where Yuta started versus where he is now. So October 16th of 21, it was a week removed from Adam Page's victory in the second casino ladder match. Mox got beat. So it was time for him to beat on somebody. So Wheeler Yuta was already in the ring, no entrance. Mox beat him in 47 seconds. And that was in October. And then February 2nd, he had a match against him again. And then this past week. So just from October to now, October, it was a squash match at 47 seconds. And then now he's a part of the Blackpool Combat Club with the Pure Championship.
Yeah. And the thing is too, I mean, you mentioned the trilogy, and the thing that with AEW is the long-term storytelling is just a beautiful thing. And becoming a star in a losing effort is something you don't see often in wrestling. It was very similar to Stone Cold and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. They were even doing a lot of nods to that match if you're paying attention with the blood spot. Yeah. In the submission. And that may be tied into the FTR thing, just shouting out Bret Hart, and they want to throw hints there. But they did a really good job of establishing him as not only a star for AEW, but a guy you can build Ring of Honor around, and making the Pure Championship feel important from the jump. It was a magical thing they did on Friday night.
And it's a classic case of you don't have to go over to get over.
100%.
You don't have to go over to get over. This guy's over. No matter, he didn't need the win to get over. That match put him over.
So, FREEMZ, for you, what does being paired with Moxley and Danielson really mean for him? I mean, we can just say hypothetically about the rub he would get just by being around them, but what else do you guys see as beneficial? Let's start with you, FREEMZ.
I mean, just being around. I mean, those are two of the biggest names, not just in AEW, but in wrestling. It's going to get eyes on them from people, because there are people who just see things that involve Bryan Danielson and Moxley. So I think it just helps get eyes on them. And just being around them and working with them is going to help his career too, from a learning standpoint.
What about you, Sneed?
Yeah, so, and I agree with that 100%. Working with them, being around them, being able to be in a state, first, I mean, the rub is insane, but I think being able to be paired with William Regal is just as big of a deal. This guy is responsible for so many names over the past decade or more, and to come in and now be associated with him in a stable with Mox and Danielson, that's huge.
Yeah. And think about this too. He's 25 years old.
25, man. Such a young, I mean, now's the time for him to be soaking up and sitting under this learning tree. These three learning trees, really.
What else would you guys do to keep the momentum going? Obviously, they're off to a really great start. Does he have to get, I mean, we have the 6-man tag happening on Rampage, and I know you guys are going to cover that in the AEW wrap-up show. Do they have to just destroy the Gun Club and Yuta has to get the pin, or do you think just hanging around them will be enough to keep them going and keep them relevant going into Ring of Honor television schedule?
I mean, he has to perform too. So I think going in the match, they're going to, which it's a big match. I mean, people will scoff at the Gun Club, but I mean, when you really break it, they are 24-0. They're undefeated. 24-0.
Yep, in trios matches. Yep.
So it's not like they're going in and facing a group that's nothing. I mean, I know the Gun Club can be considered goofs. I know they have that goofy tag put on them, and they are. But man, they're good too. We're talking about a legend in Billy Gunn, and his two sons have come so far in such a little amount of time that I think them coming in, but I mean, they're going to put an ass whooping on them, of course.
Yeah, I find that unfortunate for me personally. I would like to see the Gun Club get pushed a little bit better, but
I honestly, I would too. And the way that I had booked it kind of when they had talked about the 6-man title, if they were going to do a 6-man title, I would have liked to have seen it be like a Dark and Elevation exclusive. And I think the perfect candidates to put that title on would have been the Gun Club.
Yeah, I mean, the trios division is just remarkably deep just from the jump, and they're not even trying right now. I know they're probably trying to establish it, and Tony Khan, every opportunity he has, is talking about the 6-man title. And we talked about this last week. I think it was strategic to keep the trios titles off of the Ring of Honor Supercard event because I don't think they want that concept to be introduced on a national stage under anything but the AEW banner. But it should be interesting to see how they utilize the Gun Clubs going forward. I think it is a weird booking decision every time we see, and not that I want to get into a full discussion about the Gun Club, but it is an interesting topic. They are booked weird because they are undefeated. They stack up the wins on Dark and on Rampage, but when they got their opportunity at the tag titles, they lost. And now there's no other decision you can make but having the Blackpool Combat Club beat them up and get a decisive win. So it's just unfortunate, like FREEMZ. I think that's the word. It's unfortunate, but the right decision is YUTA has to look super strong here to keep it going. And I think it's important not only for AEW's future, but for Ring of Honor's future.
I think it's important. Go ahead, FREEMZ.
Well, I was going to say, no doubt that, like, if they're going against the Gun Club, I want them to beat the Gun Club, but rather than not at Gun. But who else do you put them against really right now? Like everyone's either in a big storyline or like the win wouldn't mean as much. Like I feel like Gun Club is just at that spot where that has to be the choice.
I think they are the spot. I mean, when you talk about 3 people, if they put 3 other people together, it's going to be just putting 3 people together to do it.
Yeah, and I think it has to mean something. I think and the Gun Club is in that spot that they are just meaningful enough. I mean, I don't know if a loss really damaged them. Being 24-1 is not such a bad thing in trios competition. You can build it back up, so they could be right back there. But similar to the Acclaimed, right? I mean, the Acclaimed lose almost every week, but they're a really overact on every show they're on.
I mean, I guess it's a bit of a dark order, but
my question is, are they 24-0 as a tag team or as a trio?
As a trio.
As a trio.
Yeah, it doesn't matter much. They're not trying to run the Gun Club as a trio anyways. Like that's not gonna be the main push for them.
Yeah,
being in the tag team. So it's not that big of a deal.
But I think it's important to keep YUTA strong for the future of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I've switched on this. This is a good choice. I've changed my mind midstream. This is a good idea. It really is. There's no reason not to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think keeping him strong is for whenever we find out what Ring of Honor is going to be doing. Keeping him strong right now is going to bode well for when we do have an announcement.
Yeah. So before we move on from Wheeler, I think he is the guy right now that you could look forward to as a future Ring of Honor champion. If you want to start reading the tea leaves for how the future reads, you said 25 years old, he already is getting the rub of a lifetime. And we have a lot to look forward to with them. So, we could talk about Wheeler all day. I was expecting, to have this conversation here, and I couldn't wait to get on here and talk about it with you guys. Yeah. I was so excited with how they did it because they're changing the formula. I mean, this has been done all throughout the history of wrestling, but we're also programmed with how WWE tries to get guys over that we're almost not used to a guy being put over effectively. With in a losing effort, like you said, you don't have to go over to get over. That is a really important point that everybody has to realize, that YUTA in a losing effort got more over than anyone in the past 10 years in WWE has done in a winning effort, aside from like the main guys that you can think about, like Roman Reigns. So it says a lot about the booking creativity.
It's all in how you book it, man. It's all in the booking, and it's being booked. He's being booked perfectly right now.
I think you should just go fight him.
That's just fight him. It says random. Austin wants to know, but did they decide what they're doing with Ring of Honors? As far as of right now, I don't know. They have not announced anything.
They have not. We have an announcement coming up next week from Tony Khan that possibly, and we'll get into that. It could possibly be an announcement about Ring of Honor's future, or it could just be another something different. Maybe they're tour in India or something like that. But we'll get into all that, what that means. Maybe ready to move on to Samoa Joe and Minoru Suzuki.
maybe his announcement is that Wardlow and MJF are going to fight, and that he was wrong in making them them, you know, just fight. No story.
Yeah, you should have just had him. I agree with Hotch.
Yeah, Hotch has some good points. I think he makes his points while he's sitting in the bathtub farting and laughing at it.
I don't know how I transitioned to that to Samoa Joe, Minoru Suzuki, but I'm going to try. So this match was the main event last night of Dynamite, as we all talked about. You guys can check out the recap of AEW wrap-up, but we're talking about the ramifications it has on Ring of Honor, and showcasing the television championship on AEW Dynamite has ramifications, I think, in a good way, good consequences, because now we're getting exposed to the Ring of Honor television title. And we talked last week reviewing Supercard, how it was a weird decision to have Minoru Suzuki walk away with the title because we didn't know if he'd find a home in Ring of Honor. And now we know the plans were never for Minoru to hold the title for long. He held it for only 12 days. We now have Samoa Joe as the television champion, and he will show up in AEW every week until we have a TV show as a reminder that Ring of Honor exists. I think it's the perfect thing to do. We can get into the play-by-play of this match because I think it's worth getting into. But how did it feel for you guys as we are running the flagship of Ring of Honor, the Honor Society here on the Turnbuckle Tavern, to see our television championship being defended on the main event of Dynamite?
It felt good. I was excited to see it. And, a lot of people scoffed at the idea of Suzuki having that title, but I think that it was such a sign of respect to give him that, knowing that, I mean, he's doing his tour of the United States and he's going back to Japan. We know that, but I think it's a huge sign of respect to give him that title, and to trust him with it for at least, a couple of weeks. But I do think it's a big deal to see the Ring of Honor championship, TV championship, at least defended on Dynamite.
Yeah. I can't notice. I just immediately smiled when we started talking about it because I love it. This is the only singles title Samoa Joe hasn't held in Ring of Honor, because it hasn't been in Ring of Honor since it's been a title. So now he's back again, holding every singles title that's in Ring of Honor.
Oh wow!
So, they didn't talk about that on AEW, but I thought about it as I was watching it, and I was like, I think it's the only one he hasn't held because it wasn't a title until 2010.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know that. Did he ever hold tag gold over there?
He's never been a tag team champion. No. Okay.
Man.
Yeah, so let's get into the spots of this match because I think it's worth getting into. I know you guys talked about in the AEW wrap-up show, but for those that just watch the Honor Society, we have to talk about this because the chopping we saw from, first of all, Minoru Suzuki giving the chops as a 50-plus-year-old man, giving it back to Joe. They both were having a great time. And I think, for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Samoa Joe felt like he had a lot to prove here, that he was showing the energy and matching the energy that he used to have, not only in TNA and Ring of Honor, but we haven't seen this side of Joe since, I wouldn't say he's been out of the ring because of injury, but I don't even know if we've ever seen this side of Joe in WWE, even when he was getting his matches throughout the NXT run. This was really nice to see, and almost like it was a reminder, in case you guys forgot, I'm Samoa fucking Joe, and I'm going to chop your chest off.
Yeah. I mean, Samoa Joe and Suzuki are known as two actual tough guys. They're actually tough, and they were slapping the shit out of each other.
Murder grandpa.
Awesome. It was so awesome.
The murder pawpaw.
Murder pawpaw.
Yeah, Suzuki's older than Regal, I think.
I think so. He comes out there, I mean, no knee pads, looking
hanging
brain, coming out there. And man, how scary is it that when he's taking these chops, that he's just walking around the ring laughing about it?
Oh yeah.
I love
Japanese wrestling, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after the chops, they moved on to forearms, which, wasn't for the faint of heart. They were hitting each other as hard as they could. And again, both matching laughs and smiles at each other. They were having the best time. As Suzuki recovered on the apron from Joe's hard shot to the face and baited Joe into an armbar over the ropes, allowing him to earn the advantage before they went to commercial break. And what a start to the match. The crowd was just so into it. They had him in the palm of their hands. And for those that aren't familiar with Minoru Suzuki, you couldn't help but just be caught up in the energy that he brings from the entrance with Kaza Ninare and coming in He has a unique look with the hair, and just you're like, is this old dude really about to beat the hell out of Samoa Joe? But from the beginning, it established the Ring of Honor Television Championship as like, this feels important. Even if you don't know anything about it, it feels important. I think that was Tony Khan's intentions of putting in a showcase spot here.
Yeah. It was nice to see. And I think it was a good send off, because I believe I think he's going back to Japan now. But it was a good, just seeing these two guys, and Joe, man, knowing what he's been through and how long he's waited to get back in the ring, not knowing, with WWE, are they going to make him, we talked about it last night on the flagship. Like, am I going to be in this Corey Graves spot forever where I'm cleared, or am I cleared to wrestle, and I'm going to be a commentator? Like, I want to get in there and be a killer again, and to be able to get in there with somebody like Minoru Suzuki and do that, I felt happy for both of them.
Yeah, as I have an ice cream truck passing by, just it fits the mood of Minoru Suzuki and Samoa Joe.
I'm gonna teach you how to set up a noise gate. It'll save your life.
Is that a shoot ice cream truck noise?
Oh, it is right outside my window. That's how you know the warm weather's back.
Like a good humor truck is out there.
Yes, right now, coming around my block. It has to do with the turnaround on the dead end as well, so we're going to hear it for some time. So I'll let you guys get into the end while it passes. So we hit him with the muscle buster, and then we saw just the end go in there, and it was a little bit of an abrupt ending to a match. I didn't feel like it was ready to be over. I don't know if you guys got the same feeling about that, but obviously you want to establish the muscle buster as a legit finisher, and the fact that he hit him with it, and for the 3, it was absolutely over. But it just felt like it was a little bit abrupt, similar to matches that, the flow was not matching to the finish. But I'm not complaining about it. I just thought maybe it had a little bit more time to go, especially since they said that we're going to get possibly a 30-minute overrun. I expected this match to go to like 10-15.
Yeah, I can see that too. I think they knew that the debut was coming and they had to get that in. I think with the overrun that they were given, I think they had said something probably like 10, maybe 15 minutes is what they were going to get. So I thought the ending was fine. I like that they established the muscle buster as a clean, he hits it and gets the clean 1, 2, 3, no kick out. And I like that Suzuki tried for the Gotch style pile driver and got it hooked. I didn't think he was going to get Joe up, but he at least got it hooked, which is a big, and they even made comment about it. That they said, what a feat it is to just get your arms locked around that big frame.
Yeah.
Just seeing him lock behind his legs, it was almost, it seemed impossible. I was like, there's no way he's going to actually be able to lock his hands underneath, and he did. So we've seen Suzuki hit it on big guys, but I don't know if he's hit the Gotch style pile driver on a guy as big as Samoa Joe. I really can't think of a guy that he hit it on.
I can't. Yeah, I'm not sure. Mike Bellcaster in the chat here. What's up, Mike?
I'm just glad we got to see the match in general, just because they've never wrestled each other before.
Right.
And it's probably going to be the last chance they're going to get at it, because I can't see Suzuki going too much longer,
Tyson's got a good point here. CM Punk sent you some ice cream bars, champ.
Tyson, I appreciate it.
Champ.
That is fun. That is comment of the night, I think. Someone's going to have to really top that one.
It's pretty awesome.
So, yeah, great match. I think it lived up to the hype. Everyone was really excited from the announcement. So we had a week to get excited about this. I thought it did its job. I thought it really established that, more than anything, makes Samoa Joe feel like a legitimate main event monster and establish Ring of Honor as a brand that's on par with AEW.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you guys see it going this way? Did you see Joe winning this title?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
They're not going to have Joe go in and lose this early. No way.
I was 98% sure that Joe was going to go in and win, but with Lethal and Dutt at ringside, I didn't know if it was going to set up something between the two of them if they screwed him out of winning the title.
Okay, I did have that in the back of my head. So,
I definitely had, I thought 98%. I thought, Joe's got this. There's no way he's not going to win the title. But then when they were at ringside, because I knew they had that surprise that they were setting up. I didn't know when the match started that they were at ringside, and that made me think like, oh no, I think maybe we're gonna get a schmoz finished where they come in and screw him out of it.
Yeah, with AEW, it's always in my mind. It's for a wrestling fan, you're programmed to believe that it could be a schmoz. I think we've only had one, correct? I mean, if someone in the chat or you guys can remember, I don't think Tony Khan's done it more than once, and I think it was by accident. They ran out of time on that one Dynamite.
Yeah.
So that's the great feeling about watching these shows. You feel like you're going to get a legitimate ending no matter how it is. You could get, someone screwing somebody over, but you're going to get a pinfall submission or something is going to have a finish, So I guess we could have seen Joe lose this match, and we could have went into establishing Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and then basing the Ring of Honor Championship around that by getting Gresham involved. But why not have the television title on Samoa Joe? I think it was a really good decision.
Oh, I think it was a great decision. Listen, Boney, you are so grow up, bro. So salty. Grow up. Hopefully they're melted ice cream bars.
I could go for some ice cream. I want to add something else too. This is kind of streaming related. I hope Samoa Joe restarts his Twitch channel. A lot of people don't realize this. Samoa Joe is an OG Twitch streamer.
I didn't know that.
Until with the WWE. Yeah, he had a Twitch stream like back in like 2014. That's like 2 years after Twitch started. So like,
wow.
I really hope he gets back into that. That's so unrelated.
What was his content? Was he gaming?
He's a gamer. Samoa Joe's a gamer.
Wow.
I have to go back in my Instagram feed and just find, because this has been sticking in my head ever since we've seen Samoa Joe coming back and just kicking ass. There's a picture of like what a difference make. There's a picture of him next to Michael Cole in the rain poncho at the WrestleMania last year at Tampa.
Yeah. And
him coming out of Supercard, just super pumped, absolutely stoked to be out there.
Sorry, I was reading Twitch chat. Yeah, back in 2014, you could only play games on Twitch. You couldn't do any other type of streaming. So the fact that he had that's really
not only is FREEMZ a Ring of Honor historian, he is also a Twitch historian, guys. You don't even know what you're getting here. The value of the Turnbuckle Tavern, guys.
He just went deep in a wrinkle for that one.
Yeah, that's deep in the
wrinkle deep. He went wrinkle deep.
Yeah, my brain's got more wrinkles than 1990s Lex Luger. Okay.
So let's get to the controversial post-match thing that happened here. So after the match, Lethal and Dutt said they had a surprise for Joe. It was nothing as they mocked Joe with a middle finger hanging out of the present box. Lights went out in the arena. The crowd buzzed. And then it was immediately met with a hummed silence of the arrival of Satnam Singh, the 7-foot-plus former basketball player for the Dallas Mavericks, who was making his television debut. We saw Singh lay out Joe, and they worked together with Lethal and Dutt, applying the vice grip, which was I know that on the flagship show, it got a lot of heat, but this was Great Khali's finisher. Hold to Joe's skull. He stood tall. This got no reaction from the crowd. I have a couple of thoughts on this that I'll let you guys start with. I'll let you guys start, then I'll get into my thoughts. I guess start with you, Sneed.
I mean, I don't think it definitely wasn't a lights out moment. This isn't. We don't turn the lights off for this. You turn the lights off for a Claudio. You turn the lights off if Gresham's going to show up. That's who you turn lights off for. When you turn those lights back on, everybody better know who's in that ring. And we didn't know that last night. And once it came out that it was Satnam Singh, like I remember hearing them talk about it, but the guy has no impact on me as far as a surprise, a lights out surprise. And I think Chad maybe said it in our group chat that maybe it was a walk down the aisle debut instead of a lights out.
Oh yeah. Middle of the show type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a disservice to Singh by doing that, because overhyping a wrestler is like one of the worst things you can do to get the fans against that person.
Oh,
like if your lights go off, you're expecting something big, and we get Singh. Now, I feel like Tony Khan does know wrestling pretty well, but he's also a huge sports fan, so I feel like he probably thought this was a bigger deal than what it was.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's probably true.
Because he's Singh's a former NBA player.
Yeah. I bet that did have a big factor in it, that he thought it was going to be a way bigger. It was probably a way bigger pop for him than it was for anybody. So
yeah,
and he's a legit 7'3". I mean, I guess if you want to really sit there with the measuring tape, maybe 7'2", but is by far the biggest guy in the AEW roster, and they are in need of bigger guys. But like you guys said, I think the debut, the way they did it, it's a miscarriage of justice, as Gorilla Monsoon would say, because now he's starting from behind. Now people were expecting it to be someone like Claudio, maybe someone like Wyndham Rotunda, or like you get your hopes up when you say Tony Khan has an overrun, and you're like, oh, you have to stay and watch. Last time he said that, it was Samoa Joe. So it's like, I'm not saying he has to live up to the hype every time, but don't, I guess, bait people by saying it's going to be an overrun. You have to see what happens. And this could be something really good. I don't want to just bury the guy before he gets in the ring. He moved around better than Great Khali. I don't think Great Khali
looked uncomfortable.
So he looked uncomfortable. It looks like wrestling isn't his natural.
He's just super green though. I think I think he just doesn't have it yet. And also, and he's 7'3", but man, he's no Manute Bowl. He's no Manute Bowl. We get me somebody in there at 7'8".
Yeah, like
I
mean, he
looks 7'8" next to like Adam Cole though. You know what I'm saying? Like
next to Jay Lethal, it looked ridiculous.
If you Google a picture of Manute Bowl, you'll see how
I find it. I don't know, man. He's like he looks, when wrestlers just look tall, it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a big dude. Like, he's a buff dude, but not like Kane or like Undertaker or the Big Show. Those guys are big, like all around.
Yeah.
And they walk normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was having some shower thoughts this morning about this, and it gave me NXT vibes. It made me feel like, in a way, and we're going to talk about how Ring of Honor will be presented in the AEW format and the AEW universe. If he's going to be presented as a main eventer in Ring of Honor, that immediately sets them back to being a developmental to get this guy ready for AEW Dynamite. And if that's what they're doing, I disagree with that approach. I don't think that's how they should utilize Ring of Honor. I think it's something that it's not as valuable if you don't create a brand that is on the equivalent level as AEW. I think it's important for you to establish them as equals. While Samoa Joe, as a main eventer, he's a guy who could be a main eventer on either show. Singh, if he immediately gets in there and he's main eventing with guys, or say, God forbid, they put the title on him or something like that, I think it immediately takes them down. But like, you really have to establish what Ring of Honor is in the AEW realm. Is it developmental, or is it on the same playing field?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's on the same playing field. I don't want to see it be a development. I don't want to see this guy over there and get developed into something. Then he comes over to. I don't want to see that.
Not me either.
Not at all.
Yeah. So I mean, this went over like a wet fart. I think I heard you guys say it. It's a wet fart.
Yeah. Drizzling shits, I believe is the term that was. Is this J-Bone or is this Hawk? This really sounds like a Hawk comment.
Not enough rope shaking.
That's what Hotch would say.
All right, so let's move on to the third thing before we move on to the scoop. We had an announcement that Jonathan Gresham will be defending the Ring of Honor World Championship on Saturday's Battle of the Belts against Dalton Castle. So let's get the match graphic up here. This was super exciting to me. This was announced late last night, so we didn't have this in the original show run. Sneed, I'll let you start with, what's your expectations for this match? Do you feel like it's well deserving of the Ring of Honor title shot for Dalton Castle to be in there?
I think it's a big deal. I think it puts a lot of eyes on it. It was kind of strange to me that it was just added just like that, and like it really had there was no talk about it or anything. It was just the graphic was there, so that was a little shocking. But I think it's going to be good. Dalton Castle's the guy's awesome.
I know exactly what happened. Champion, yep.
What's that?
I said I know exactly
what happened.
What happened was Tony Khan saw how hard Dalton Castle gets over at a Ring of Honor show, and they want to see how that looks at an AEW show. because Dalton Castle is electric, man. Like when I first saw him, I was like, this is goofy. And then like I fell in love with that character. Like, yeah, it's so good.
That's probably true, man. I didn't even think about it like that, but I mean, but that's a huge stage to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Khan has a history of listening to the fans, so I think you're onto something, FREEMZ. So the history of these guys wrestling, they haven't wrestled one-on-one or even in a tag match. They've only been on the same team back in 2019, so we don't have a lot of history to draw upon with Gresham and Dalton Castle, which is exciting. Dalton Castle, obviously, if you guys don't know, former Ring of Honor champion. I know at Supercard he was presented on the pre-show, and I don't want to disregard the pre-show because there was a loaded card, so not everybody can be on there. And he did come off a win. But obviously, I think it's a good way to expose people to, first of all, Gresham on national television, not just pay-per-view. And then also have Dalton Castle, who may not be deserving rankings-wise, but who knows like how they're even going to use the rankings. But he is an established main eventer in the Ring of Honor realm.
I don't think the AEW rankings should have anything to do with the Ring of Honor title either.
No, not
Ring
at
of
all.
Honor didn't really use rankings other than for I think they did rankings for Pure, didn't they? I can't remember.
Not sure.
But yeah, I can't remember. Other than that, though, I mean, like if you watch that event, I feel like as far as not just like match moments, but as far as like entrances, I think Dalton Castle had like the third biggest pop.
Yeah.
And he was on the pre-show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think about all of these matches, these Ring of Honor matches that they're doing on AEW right now? Like, do you think that it's needed to keep it fresh until we get a TV deal with them?
You got to get people interested in those titles and in those stories. That way, whenever they do start to show, people want to continue seeing where those belts go. I have a feeling, not to get too far off the topic, but it relates to Sneed's questions. I have a feeling they're going to put those ROH tag belts on FTR.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean take the tag titles off of them?
I mean, sorry, they're going to put the AEW tag titles on them.
Oh, yeah. I got the same vibe, too, from them during that segment. They want to make them triple champions, and that immediately elevates the tag division to the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they going to
know it is, but I think that the casual fan needs to know it's on the same level. I think that's the job of getting these titles on the main show. And like you said, I think if they don't have these titles on the main show, on Dynamite, where else are people seeing them? I think you have to have these guys being showcased until you have a consistent presentation place where you have a weekly show where Gresham can be there and you can get your fix of these guys.
Yeah. Now, you said that you think FTR is going to take the AEW tag titles.
Yeah.
Who do they take them from? I don't think they take them from Jurassic Express.
I think they do.
Man, just two faces going at it.
Yeah, I could say, because I feel like it's going to cause the breakup of Jurassic Express.
I mean, Chad and I talked about this on the flagship last night. They've taken away the Jurassic Express name, so now they're just Jungle Boy and Lucha. But they took that away 2 or 3 title defenses ago, so they've defended the title 2 or 3 times since then. I don't know. I can see FTR getting the AEW tag titles. I just don't know if they're the ones to take it from Jurassic Express.
I don't see any other way. I don't see them putting it on someone else just to have it taken away by FTR.
Because both teams are so babyface right now.
Yeah, but I think the fans are starting to get. I don't think that like people pop for Jurassic Express entrance, but I think people are kind of over him.
I think the hardcore fan, like the hardcore, like us, like fans like us, I think I can see that. But as far as like marketability and who they're marketing them towards, like the kids, like that team is babyface for the kids, 100%. Luchasaurus, I don't know. But I can 100%. I can 100% see FTR getting the tag titles.
I just think it's going to happen sooner than later.
I was a little shocked last night that Red Dragon didn't take him.
Me too. Yeah,
I was a little
also Red Dragon, Ring of Honor alums there too, badasses. But
see that, but with FTR coming out and confronting Red Dragon, it would have made so much sense if they would have won the titles. Then FTR comes, Like the only thing that was missing out of that interaction was.
Here's how I could see it being book Sneed, and I hate to say it because I don't want this to happen, but it's probably going to. It's going to go to FTR in a freaking 3-way tag match.
I didn't even think about that because I try to keep 3-ways tag.
I'm so sick of 3-way tag matches.
I hate them. I hate triple threats. Period. Like
I also think too, if you got to consider the AAA tag titles too, because who's going to be going to Mexico to defend them at Triple Mania at the end of the month? Maybe FTR. That's what I took away from the segment, that the AAA title is going to be on the line somewhere, because maybe FTR is not going to get on a plane and go to Mexico because right now they have too many obligations. And you have to get a way to get those AAA titles off of them for Triple Mania. So you have to have them defended at their biggest event of the year.
Yeah. That being said, though, if them getting the AEW championships don't mean as much if they don't have that AAA tag championship. That's why I
right. Being triple champions means something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll see how it shakes out. I love stuff. I love fantasy booking like that, though.
So just going back to the Dalton Castle and Gresham, I think we're all in agreement that there's no way that Gresham loses this match. Obviously, it's just a showcase to show what Gresham, the Octopus, can do on a big stage. I'm excited for it. I love that you can't have, for me, not to get into AEW, but the fact that the world title is not on Battle of the Belts, the last two of them, is, I don't get it. Like, I don't get how you have a Battle of the Belts, because they never had a Clash of Champions without the World Championship. So the fact we have a World Championship, it says a lot about the Ring of Honor Championship if you have it on this show being in lieu of. And I think that's, a good thing.
I think the AEW Championship not being defended on Battle of the Belts and being defended on Rampage is a direct effect of I
agree with what you're gonna say. Yeah.
Of Tony Khan running ROH against Rampage. So I think he's giving that title match to Rampage.
And a title change, probably, if you think about it.
I would say yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so good conversation. Now let's move on to the scoop. We got some more conversation to have. All right, so in this section, we're going to be talking about news of the week. So we have a few things to talk about, and the first one on the docket is Ian Riccaboni, the Ring of Honor announcer, in an appearance on the Wrestling Perspective podcast with Lars Fredrickson from Rancid. He spilled some beans about what the future would have held in a fantasy booking world where Tony Khan did not buy Ring of Honor. Talked about new logos. So I thought this was an interesting conversation to have.
This event was intended to rebrand and relaunch before it was purchased by Tony Khan. There was a logo that I've seen that I like, but I don't like as much as the logo we have now, and I don't like as much as the old logo that I have on my shirt here, on my jacket. But there's a new logo out there that was intended to launch on the Night of Supercard. That didn't happen, and there was some merchandise that went with it. So those are.
So what do you guys think about that? That in this somewhere in the ether, or like these old, like the losers of the Super Bowl, those shirts exist somewhere. Maybe somewhere we will see this intended Ring of Honor logo and see what could have been.
I hope those shirts pop up somewhere. I want to. As far as like collector's items and things like that, like as a collector, I would love to have one of those shirts.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see. I'm not a collector really, but I am curious to see what it would have looked like. I have a feeling I would have hated it. I hate the current logo still from the last logo change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's grown on me over the years, but like, I don't know. Logo changes are always weird.
I think it's weird that he asked to have some of the merch and they told him no, but they're going to take him and do what they do. I mean, they have to destroy him, right?
I would say so, yeah.
Somebody has to have one, though.
But what's the damage of it getting out there? You know what it could have been. I guess maybe if people like it better, that it gets out there, like, oh, that would have been better. I don't think you're going to hear that, though.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just interesting to think about in a world where like they had plans prior, and it just shows how quickly the Tony Khan deal came together, that they were getting ready to relaunch in April no matter what. And I think they were going to run as like a super indie. I think that was the original intention, to not have any signed talent to the Ring of Honor name, but bring in guys all over the place where you have these large events and run really big independent shows under the Ring of Honor banner with the history. And you would probably just sell tickets just, I guess, with the name of Ring of Honor, but nothing else to it. So we are completely removed from that timeline. We no longer have to wonder about the what happens with Ring of Honor. And I think it's a good thing. With Ian Riccaboni, it's fun to talk about and listen to what could have been. But I think we're right now in the place where we should be, because it's in really good hands. And I think everyone can agree that Tony Khan has the best intentions for Ring of Honor in mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do want to see that logo, though.
Yeah. If we can find it, guys, make sure we're going to post it on Turnbuckle Tavern. You guys will be the first to see it if we find it.
Especially in the Discord.
Yes.
Hype the Discord, guys. Make sure you guys get in there. Last night, myself, young Anthony was up late at night. We were talking. We've done watch-alongs. We did Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega at Grand Slam. I had some Ring of Honor matches going on. 2004, Bryan Danielson versus Jay Briscoe in there. So, and you don't know what's going on in there. I mean, anytime you pop in, someone's up. I mean, Nick Storm lives across the goddamn world, so he's up at all hours of the night, no matter what. Someone's up there to chat. There's always good memes. There was some good OG Fig Kid memes popping around in there last night. So always something to do on the Discord.
It's a fun time. Get in there.
So we have a new name has reportedly been signed to a Ring of Honor All Elite Wrestling deal. Khan, one half of the new tag team Gates of Agony, under the tutelage of Tully Blanchard, with Toa Leona made their debut at Ring of Honor Supercard. They have signed to both companies, so similar to the Samoa Joe deal. This was according to Fightful Select. So previous to the sale of Ring of Honor, Tony Khan had said that Khan had been a part of the Shane Taylor Promotions stable, where he was 1/3 of the 6-man tag team champions alongside with Taylor and former tag team partner Moses. They lost the titles to Vincent, Bateman, and Dutch, who are now the current champions, now defunct. Obviously, we did not see them at Supercard. They lost the titles back in Final Battle. Since Ring of Honor shut down temporarily following Final Battle, Khan has made appearances on AEW Dark, so we've seen him all over the place. I think Ring of Honor will be his home. He is in a stable with Brian Cage, who also took out Ninja Mac during the Supercard main event. So he's officially on board, guys. I know people were disappointed. We were a little bit disappointed to see who was there, but it happened on the pre-show. So we gave some grief to Tony about how he debuted Singh. This is the way you debut a relative unknown.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great way to do that. And I mean, we talked about the 6-man titles. He was 6-man champ with Shane Taylor and Shane Taylor Promotions. He was one of the 6-man tag holders. Also, you can, a little shameless plug. You can go back in the archives. We had a great interview.
I was going to say that. I did watch that interview. Great interview, guys. If you want some history of Shane Taylor, absolutely fantastic job by the Turnbuckle crew.
That was a fun interview. That was a lot of fun. He put everybody on notice. I'd like to see when he shows up.
Oh, yeah. He's a Ring of Honor guy as well.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have Dax Hardwood of FTR, who we were just talking about before. I would say gushing about, because I think they are on fire right now and they're the highlight of the wrestling world. They spoke with Dallas News, and he noted that he believes it will become less of a developmental system of Ring of Honor, but it will bring out the promotion what it used to be back in its heyday. So the quote was as read. I couldn't find the audio of this. So I think it's going to be less developmental system, as some people have alluded to. I think it's going to be more what it was in its heyday. I think Ring of Honor fans and professional wrestling fans are lucky to have someone like Tony Khan bought the rights to Ring of Honor, because he's just as big, maybe more of a wrestling fan than everyone else out there watching him. He wants Ring of Honor to be successful. He wants to continue to be the proving ground of professional wrestling and to have the greatest professional wrestlers come through that area. So I alluded to it before with the Singh signing or the Singh appearance. Do you guys agree with Dax that this will not be developmental, that it will be on the same playing ground as AEW?
Yeah, I think so. I think that everything they've done to this point so far seems to show that. I mean, putting a title on Samoa Joe, putting a tag titles on like the hottest tag team in AEW, arguably.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't see them making it developmental.
I don't see it being a developmental either. I think that, I think Tony Khan knows the ramifications of if he makes Ring of Honor, because everybody knows Tony Khan's name's associated with with the purchase of Ring of Honor. So if he goes in and makes it a developmental for AEW, he's going to catch so much shit for that. He knows, because the Ring of Honor fan base is so hardcore. If he turns it into that, he's going to get just crucified for it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it has to be, and he's done nothing to make us believe that. I think we're just so trained as wrestling fans to be disappointed that Tony Khan has done nothing for us to doubt that this will be on the same level, because as we're seeing with Samoa Joe, as FREEMZ alluded to, he's being treated as a main event guy on Dynamite every week for the last 2 weeks, I should say. So, I think that Ring of Honor will be on the same level. And to go back in history in 2001, where Vince McMahon purchased WCW and ECW, it doesn't do you any justice to go out there and just bury another company. And I don't think Tony Khan would do that, but to create competition within itself, and maybe somewhere down the line, we'll see cross promotion between Ring of Honor and Dynamite. That's not an AEW. That isn't just like showcasing. It's more competitive. I think that has a lot of value, because the only way you get the value out of your purchase is if you put some stock into it. And I think Ring of Honor needs to be built back up in the national eyes.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think putting those titles on FTR, I think all the title changes that they did, I think that just shows a reset that he's going to do. The big thing, we're obviously, it's all speculation, but we're just waiting for TV deal,
Yeah,
we'll know at that point, but for sure. But I'm almost 100% sure that we're not getting just developmental out of this.
Yeah,
I agree. It's the speculation's hard.
Yeah, it is tough, and I'm hoping that we, clear that up soon. So I do want to put over. There's a local event that's happening here in June. On June 11th, FREEMZ. I don't know if you know about this.
Beckley?
Yeah.
That's massive. I gotta go. Are you guys going?
Oh, I'll be there 100%. I was going to say we got to go. But FTR's wrestling there.
Wrestling American Wolves, aren't they?
They're wrestling American Wolves. Yep. Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards.
Was it you that got me? Somebody got me I can't remember who it was. When I was working at the tattoo shop. I'm a huge American Wolves fan. From back in the indie days, and someone got me an autographed picture of Eddie Edwards at some event. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, it wasn't me. That's really cool though. That's really awesome. It's the first time that they've gotten back together and teamed in a long time. And when FTR went on that thing where they were talking about taking limited indie bookings, and only because they want to be able to say that they've wrestled the best tag teams in the world, ASW Wrestling here in West Virginia stepped up and booked FTR versus American Wolves. Now, Davey Richards was ASW's champion up until last week when Cardona took the belt. So Cardona's their champ. Matt Cardona's their champ now, but
7-belt broski.
Yeah. So, but this event's going to be big, and in FTR's corner they have Dennis Condrey from Midnight Express.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Also got Enzo and Cass are going to be there.
Enzo and Cass are going to be there. Jake the Snake.
Tully's
going to be there. Tully and JJ Dillon's going to be there.
Yeah, Pillman Jr.
Pillman Jr. is going to be there.
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater. Brian Myers.
Since you guys brought up Condrey, did you realize FTR's theme is a throwback to their theme song back in the day?
It is pretty much identical to Midnight.
Yeah, just with like a little bit of like an upbeat, upbeat beat to it. I think
Midnight Express's theme. Here's a little known fact about Sneed. Midnight Express theme. One of my, I would say I could possibly put it at my favorite of all time.
It's so good.
I tried to interrupt you and say that you wrote it, but I was too slow. One fact about Sneed, I wrote it.
All right, so the last thing on the slip, guys, we have Tony Khan's appearance on Wrestling on the Barstool Sports Network. So he was just talking about how he went about booking Supercard of Honor.
Prior show. Like when they did ECW One Night Stand, they picked up over 4 years later after their final pay-per-view. And I felt like I wanted to strike while the iron was hot with Ring of Honor, pick up not do like cold tribute matches. But on the other hand, One Night Stand is one of the greatest pay-per-views because they captured the spirit of ECW.
Did it play on my end? It did the same thing it did last week. Did we just see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to click it twice because I know we had the million handshakes last week. So essentially, he used the One Night Stand prototype, and why not, to pay homage to Ring of Honor and its history in the same spirit of what it was. The only thing that's interesting is that Ring of Honor is continuing. ECW sort of was laid to rest that night, although we saw a reiteration of it in the damnation of whatever they did later with WWE, the WWE ECW, which we won't even talk about. But it was interesting that he took that approach because he's using it as a reset, not just an anniversary farewell tour. So I just thought it was sort of a weird model to follow, but I thought it was successful.
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison, and I think Tony's just such a fan, man. Tony Khan he's just such a wrestling fan. He just has deeper pockets than we do.
Oh yeah. FREEMZ, any thoughts on One Night Stand being the influence of what he did?
I don't really have anything else to add other than what Sneed said. Like it makes me happy that he's running the ship.
Oh, our fearless leader, just like President Sneed on the Raw Down. Let's get to top honors. It's going to look a little bit different this week, and I'll tell you guys why. So did the same thing again. Hopefully it played.
Definitely did.
All right. So top honors this week. I think we can all agree that there was only one match that we can talk about, but I think let's just take turns talking about what we liked best about the Minoru Suzuki and Samoa Joe match. And if there's something we would change, it's okay to say that I think it was perfect the way it was. We'll start with you, FREEMZ.
Yeah. I don't know how much you can change with it, with their styles. But I just love the hard noseness of it, like just tough guy, chopping, slapping forearm is just brutal. I know that might sound weird to some people, but it just reminds me of just old school tough guys. Just their chest, man.
Bleeding and bruised.
Oh yeah.
Just Samoa Joe in general too. His facial expressions alone, both of them, Suzuki's facial expressions too. Like their facial expressions are just awesome. I loved it. I thought it was great.
I thought the match was perfect the way it was. I saw a lot of people talking about. There were a lot of people complaining that it was just a chop fest and then that's it. And I feel like those people just don't get it. Because it's not just a chop fest. You have two legends who are known for that in there trading back and forth. It was a beautiful thing. And to know that both of those guys, Joe coming back to competition and Suzuki being on the tour that he is as probably in the twilight of his career, it had to be huge moments for both of them. I think the match was perfect the way it was.
Yeah, I agree with everything you both said. I would say my only slight nitpick would be I wanted to go a little bit longer because I think they had a little bit left to give.
Maybe fight forever chant.
I wanted a little bit of that, but I also wanted Suzuki maybe to get a near fall. I don't think he got enough of a near fall on Joe. He tried to lock in the Kimura lock, not the Kimura lock, the choke.
Yeah.
So it never really felt like Suzuki was going to win the match at any point. And I just wanted like that one near fall. I think it would have put it out a perfect spot, but I'm just nitpicking here. That's all I'm sitting here thinking about it.
Yeah. I think that match, was great. As far as top honors too, I'll throw in an honorable mention. I feel like Wheeler Yuta kicking out of two paradigm shifts.
Oh yeah.
I think that's just, I can't talk about that enough and how big of a deal that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is a great thing to mention. Only reason I didn't include it on our top honors was because, Moxley not involved in Ring of Honor, but you could just talk about Wheeler all day.
Yeah.
And I think he himself deserves a badge of honor for what he went through and just earning his stripes, man. That blade job, I think he got cut up in the hard way on the stairs. But the blood was, I mean, that's how you earn respect in the locker room. And that was the old school way of doing it and getting a guy over. And it was perfect the way it was. And we have a perfect guy to build around the Pure division with and Ring of Honor at large.
I just enjoyed seeing him bloody wearing the Pure title.
Yeah, let's go back to that picture. I have a really good picture here. I think this is the best picture. Just absolutely epic.
I mean, he just looks spent right there. Spent but happy, you know, like.
And then this is the other one that's just amazing.
Oh yeah.
So good.
So good.
So let's move on to honorable mentions, which I think is our favorite part. I mean, my favorite part. I want to.
What I look forward to.
Every week in alignment with the history of Ring of Honor, we will recommend one match for each of you guys viewers to check out. So. So we should keep track of who goes first. I don't know if you guys saw in our group chat, I've been cataloging so this way we don't repeat each other. Yeah, I think this will be important for us to do.
Yes.
FREEMZ, I'll let you start this because I'm very curious what you have to say as far as what match you recommend us watching.
Okay. So I've obviously, all the matches I picked have been almost 20 years old. So I wanted to do something a little bit newer this time around. And this, honestly, I think is one of the best Ring of Honor matches for especially the modern day fan to watch. It's Final Battle 2015, Jay Lethal versus AJ Styles.
Oof.
AJ Styles never won the Ring of Honor championship, even though he debuted in 2002, 2003.
Wow. Okay.
And Jay Lethal was trying to show that he wasn't washed up, that he was deserving of being the champion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you who won because you guys need to go watch this match. Great storytelling. It's a great match. It's one of my favorite Final Battle matches. So Final Battle 2015, AJ Styles versus Jay Lethal.
And guys, do your goddamn homework. Watch the matches because it's only furthering your wrestling education. So when FREEMZ speaks and recommends a match, you guys all have to watch it. I've been watching every single one he recommends. It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah, and going back and watching these classic matches, like I've gone back and watched some of AJ Styles. I haven't watched this match, and I'm excited to go back and watch it. But just to see these guys back when, you see them as stars, as superstars in WWE and other companies, but to go back and watch these matches, it's a special thing.
I would say this is when AJ Styles, in my opinion, was at his best during his New Japan Ring of Honor run right before WWE.
Yeah.
So there was a good conversation before we move on to the other match. And I think it was in the Raw Down chat about AJ Styles, how he lost the hunger and desire and the edge to him, that he's just out there mailing it in. And it's funny that we bring up AJ Styles in the Ring of Honor universe because of just how much we've been missing. It's almost like AJ Styles has, I guess, retired in the eyes of hardcore wrestling fans. Because when was the last time we saw a memorable match from AJ Styles? Even that Edge match disappointed at WrestleMania. He's been super disappointing. It's almost like he's just mailing it in. And I didn't think about it until they brought it up on the Raw Down. I was like, oh my God, he really hasn't done anything in about 5 years. Probably since the Lesnar match.
I blame booking, because when you listen to the wrestlers talk about AJ Styles, even when the conversation isn't about him, they talk about how he's the best wrestler in the WWE. I mean, I feel like the booking is just so bad over there.
And why go out there and break your ass when you can go out there and have a formulaic match? Because that's what they want anyway. That's what creative wants. They want you out there being safe and just doing your spots and getting back to the back. I mean, he's saving his body, so you don't want to, discredit that. He's also, keeping himself healthy, and he's making a lot of money for his family, and he deserves that. But as a hardcore fan, I miss the AJ Styles that FREEMZ just referenced, because that was the guy who went out there and was the top wrestler of the world. Also,
another gamer, AJ Styles, by the way, for those who didn't know.
I did know that. I did know that.
I watched a video of him hunting down an Atari Jaguar on YouTube. He was in Japan shopping for an Atari Jaguar. It was awesome.
Didn't he do a lot with Up, Down with Xavier?
I think he did they did a Tekken tournament, maybe.
Yeah. I think that's how I found out that he was a gamer, because I didn't know before. That's awesome.
So go check out that match, guys. I will post the chart we have on my Instagram at Eastfield Retro, so you guys can check out the matches if you want to catch up and watch the matches for the first 2 weeks of our show. Sneed, without further ado, what matches do you have in tune for our viewers here?
So I'm glad FREEMZ went with something newer, because I went old on this, and I went very old because when Tony Khan announced that on Dynamite that he bought Ring of Honor, immediately after that we had Bryan Danielson versus Christopher Daniels. They did that, and I didn't know they talked about the history of it in the first main event. So I went back and watched the low-key Bryan Danielson and Christopher Daniels match from I believe it was February of 2002. And I encourage everybody. I mean, I encourage you to go watch everything we talk about here, but this match, this set the style for everything that's happened over the past 20 years. This match wasn't what, these three wrestlers, a match like this had never been done before. Go ahead, FREEMZ.
You got me wanting to talk about another match so bad.
Pop it in there, man. Why not? This is listen. We have a lot of freedom in this format here.
Okay, the Addiction versus Motor City Machine Guns versus the Young Bucks, Ring of Honor 2016.
Yeah,
one of the best. Like, I was talking shit on triple threat tag matches. This one's so fucking good. It's a basically a TLC match.
Okay.
Oh my god, man. That match is so good.
Probably you can find that. Link it in the Discord and the Honor Society channel. This way we can all check it out.
Oh, it's so good, man. The Young Bucks, I think, might be one of the best Young Bucks matches ever, too. At that, they had some crazy spots. Holy shit.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely,
it's got like chill bumps thinking about that match. You brought up Christopher Daniels, and it's the first thing that came to my head.
I mean, and that was the main thing with me watching this match was Christopher Daniels. Like, I think people forget how good Christopher Daniels was. And is. I mean, he's still good, but like, in this match, he wasn't the grappler that Low-Key or Danielson was, but I think people forget how smooth he was. And, he goes way back even to the last parts of WCW Nitro when he was doing cruiserweight stuff on there.
He was supposed to be the higher power for Vince McMahon in that whole angle, which is bizarre to even think about.
Yeah.
He's been around.
But this, this match was from everything that I've read, and after watching it, I can see it was a planted flag for what our Ring of Honor was going to be. So I think it's a very pivotal match to go back and watch if you've never watched the first main event from Ring of Honor.
Great choice. So it's funny that FREEMZ mentioned Davey Richards before, because he's on my list here. So this match isn't too far long ago, 2010 at Death Before Dishonor. We had Tyler Black versus Davey Richards, and this was a great match. And I know people know Tyler Black as Seth Rollins as of now and what he's doing, and I think Seth Rollins is the highlight of WWE going in now. One of the reasons I watch. I'm a big fan, and I'll always be a big fan of him. But this established Tyler Black for me as a main event level star, and this match went close to 35 minutes. They worked a formula that many Ring of Honor fans are used to. You talked about the low-key first ever main event. That pretty much established the formula of what works in Ring of Honor and what style works, planting the flag. And this was very similar to that. So, they followed with the work rate, the near falls, just like any Ring of Honor main event, but they did it very, very well. And it stood out to me as a match that really made these guys feel super important. And that's what I'm always looking for. I want to see their personality shine through, and also the moveset to look logical. I don't want just spot fest that we see on other cards. I think Ring of Honor does a really good job of showcasing their guys that can do amazing things, but also following logical storytelling where it makes sense. Like if a guy hurt his knee, he just can't do the same stuff that he used to do. He can't go off the top rope. They're following along, and it makes sense. And this match had a whole bunch of that. To me, it's easy to see why WWE eventually decided to hand the keys eventually to Seth Rollins and give him a developmental deal first off, and then run with him because he was the main guy from 2015 on. And, you could say Roman is the guy now, but Seth is a close second, in my opinion.
Yeah.
At this point, 2010, his work is so incredibly smooth. It's hard to believe he was even working not in WWE. He was already ready to be on the biggest stage. I think there was a whole bunch of close near falls, most memorably an agonizing 2 count from Richards from a lariat that he hit, and the crowd thought the match was over. So I was like, I love near falls, as you guys probably can tell. And I even talked about it with the Suzuki match. I want to believe that the match was going to be over. And I hate some spots where, and it's been a new thing in the past couple of years, where you have the guy who's down for the pinfall looking up at the ref's hand, trying to make it get to the closest possible second. But it ruins it for me because if he's looking up, I know he's kicking out. So
yeah,
I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I hate it for me. This match had so many near falls. It made me, I just was so immersed in the atmosphere there. I think it's a good match for people to watch that stopped watching Ring of Honor and only thought that Ring of Honor existed under the umbrella of Samoa Joe and CM Punk, but like Ring of Honor still existed after them and they continue to thrive. So this match is a really great glimpse into that window.
So you do like near falls?
I'm a huge near fall fan. Yeah.
See, I like near falls too. Now, I don't know if you heard the take, but I'll bring it up in our group chat because I want you to get a taste of it. But you should hear old Hotch's take on near falls.
I did actually hear it, and I mean, I just think he's trolling at this point. There's no way you don't like there's no way someone doesn't like near falls.
Yeah, I don't know how you couldn't. It's a very smooth brain thing to think.
Look at the FTR Briscoes.
Yeah.
Every match that we just mentioned is now in the Discord. So
sweet. Oh, you're the man, Freems. The guy is working so hard for you guys. The least you can do, like and subscribe. Go to his Twitch. Send him. I'm going to post the link up here just because he did that.
Yeah, I'll do a little shillbilly on the way out because we're doing some stuff tonight on my stream.
Sweet.
Make sure that you guys get on there and give us a like and subscribe, guys. It's the least you can do. I think we're entertaining here. I think all of us are giving you really valuable information.
Yeah.
You guys ready to go to Final Handshakes?
Okay, let's do it. And it did play.
Only one handshake this time.
Yeah.
So next week's show, guys, we'll be coming back to April 21st. We'll be talking about the latest news in Ring of Honor, potentially having a TV deal in place if that's Tony Khan's announcement. You guys will be the first to know. I will definitely post it on Turnbuckle Tavern. Make sure you guys like and follow along on there, because if you're not hearing us talk about it live here on YouTube, you could certainly find the information in real time on social media. And we'll definitely be talking about Ring of Honor history, continuing to have that conversation. If there's something you guys would like us to talk about, make sure you just mention it on Turnbuckle Tavern. You can comment on this video and say, I would love you guys to have a discussion about this part of Ring of Honor or have a question for us. What are some final things you guys want to hype up just to get people aware of things going on in the world of Turnbuckle Tavern and Twitch?
So I'll let FREEMZ end on his stuff because I want it to be fresh in everybody's mind. Just mine. I just want to hype up the Turnbuckle Tavern as a whole. I don't think there's a better group of people doing content for you than what we have going on here. I think you'd be hard pressed to find people who put as much time, effort, and passion into what we do in every show, from Honor Society to Raw down to the wrap up to all the podcasts, the Fig Night. Everybody involved puts 100% into everything every time. And we're doing that for you guys. So if you're a fan and you like what you're hearing, tell somebody about it, because you're not going to find a better group of people doing this. That's all I have.
I echo that.
Yeah. Well, as far as I go,
let's get creamy.
Yeah. So I am going to be on the new episode of Coming Down the Aisle tomorrow.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Awesome.
So that's something worth checking out. Obviously, I echo everything Sneed says. AEW wrap-up shows became a shit show. It's hilarious. There's still lots of good information, but I think it's very entertaining. I think that we get along well over there. Also, immediately after this stream, I go live on my channel over at twitch.tv/FREEMZ. We're going to be hopping in the VR chat. If you're interested in going to a Shrek strip club or other kinds of weirdness we can get into. It's very degenerate, and if that's your thing, it's gonna be very creamy over there. So
go to twitch.tv/free. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that.
No, last time I got a lap dance from a cat boy mute.
Oh
See?
my God.
See, this is what you guys are missing. But like, I don't think people understand. Go to twitch.tv/FREEMZ.
Make sure you guys check out turnbuckletavern.com so you guys can check out all the new merchandise. We have new Honor Society shirts. We will sure have a graphic next week so you guys can see it, but it's on there for you guys to order. I have one on the way myself. I have my Ace shirt coming. And I just want to say I am so thankful to be a part of this group, and I echo everything that Sneed said. We are putting out amazing content on a daily basis, guys. And I'm just so happy to be, because even outside of the shows, guys, on the Discord, everyone's having such a great time discussing good quality wrestling. Even when some of the wrestling is not good, Turnbuckle Tavern makes it fun. So
yeah,
that's all you guys need to know. Hop on the Discord, get involved, make sure you like and comment on different videos, and let your voice be heard, because we are listening, guys, and we want to make sure that we are providing something that you guys want to hear. And I think we're doing a damn good job of it.
Agreed. And then come back Thursdays at 7 for this again.
100%. And we'll be back Thursday. Like I said, April 21st, 2022. That's all we got for you. I am Acefield Retro. That's Sneed. That's FREEMZ. We're the Honor Society. And make sure you guys abide by the Code of Honor.